The quantum resonance chamber hummed with an intensity that made Dr. Elena Rodriguez's hair stand on end. Holographic displays flickered around her, a constellation of data points dancing across translucent screens. Jupiter's massive form loomed outside the observation window of Horizon Station, its swirling storms a constant reminder of the infinite complexity of the universe. Elena's fingers danced across the quantum interface, her movements precise and calculated. She had dedicated her entire career to understanding the fundamental mysteries of quantum communication, and today felt different. Something was brewing, a subtle vibration in the fabric of space-time that her instruments were barely beginning to detect. Dr. Rodriguez called out her assistant, "Finn Harper, the quantum resonance is approaching an unprecedented amplitude." His voice carried a mixture of excitement and apprehension. She adjusted her neural interface, a sleek band that connected her directly to the station's advanced computing systems. The data stream intensified, revealing patterns that defied conventional understanding. Quantum entanglement was supposed to be predictable, manageable, but what Elena was witnessing challenged everything she knew about quantum mechanics. A sudden burst of energy cascaded through the resonance chamber. The holographic displays erupted with a complex lattice of light, forming intricate geometric patterns that seemed to pulse with an intelligence of their own. Elena leaned forward, her heart racing. "Finn, are you seeing this?" she whispered, though she knew he was already analyzing the same data. The patterns weren't random. They carried a structured complexity that suggested intentionality, communication, perhaps from something beyond human comprehension. The quantum signal wasn't just noise. It was a message. Horizon Station, positioned at the edge of human-explored space, had been designed as a research outpost to study Jupiter's complex magnetic fields and potential quantum anomalies. But this was something entirely unexpected. Elena's background in theoretical quantum physics and advanced communication technologies made her uniquely qualified to interpret these signals. She had always believed the humanity's understanding of communication was limited by our own perceptual constraints. "Initiating quantum decryption protocol," Finn announced, his fingers flying across the holographic interface. The station's massive quantum computers began processing the signal, breaking down each quantum state, analyzing the intricate relationships between particles that seemed to carry information across impossible distances. Minutes felt like hours as the decryption process continued. Elena watched, her scientific discipline barely containing her growing sense of anticipation. This could be the moment that changed everything. First contact, not through traditional means, but through the fundamental language of the universe itself. A warning klaxon suddenly blared, red emergency lights cutting through the calm blue-white glow of the research environment. The quantum signal had triggered multiple system alerts, suggesting that whatever was communicating was far beyond their current technological understanding. "Stabilizing quantum buffer," Finn called out, his voice tight with concentration. Elena's mind raced. The signal carried a complexity that suggested intelligence, but not necessarily in a form humans could immediately comprehend. It was like receiving a message written in a language that existed between mathematics and pure thought. The station's reactor pulsed, responding to the quantum fluctuations. External sensors began registering energy signatures that defied current scientific models. Something was responding to their attempt at communication, something vast, ancient, and fundamentally different from any life form humanity had ever imagined. "We're receiving a cascading quantum transmission," Finn said, his voice a mixture of awe and fear. "It's evolving, adapting to our decryption attempts." Elena understood immediately. This wasn't just a message. It was a living communication, a dynamic system that modified itself in real time based on the receiver's attempts to understand it. The quantum resonance chamber began to vibrate, not with mechanical energy, but with a frequency that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of space-time. Elena realized they were on the precipice of something monumental, a moment that would redefine humanity's understanding of communication, intelligence, and our place in the universe. "Prepare full quantum recording," she commanded. "Whatever happens next, we need to capture every single detail." Little did Elena know that this moment would be the first tremor of a cosmic revelation that would challenge everything humanity believed about existence, communication, and the boundaries of known science. The Global Interstellar Defense Consortium's command center buzzed with an electric tension. Massive holographic displays cascaded with data streams, each screen showing different aspects of the quantum signal discovered by Dr. Elena Rodriguez at Horizon Station. Commander Marcus Reyes stood at the center of the circular command room, his cybernetic tactical interface humming softly against his temple. Years of strategic planning and countless simulated conflict scenarios had prepared him for unprecedented challenges. But this was different. The quantum transmission defied every established protocol of first contact. "Break down the analysis," Reyes commanded, his voice cutting through the ambient technological murmur. Dr. Olivia Nakamura, the consortium's lead xenocommunication specialist, stepped forward. Her augmented reality display projected intricate quantum patterns that seemed to dance and shift with an almost living intelligence. "The signal isn't just a message," she explained. "It's a dynamic system that adapts and evolves. Traditional communication models are useless. We're dealing with something that communicates through quantum state modifications, a language that exists between information and pure potential." Reyes studied the patterns, his military-trained mind searching for strategic implications. If this signal represented an intelligence, it could be either a potential threat or an unprecedented opportunity for communication. "We need an adaptive response protocol," he declared. The command center fell silent, every technician and strategist turning their attention to him. The adaptive response protocol was more than a military strategy. It was a comprehensive approach that would mobilize humanity's most innovative minds. They would need to develop communication technologies that could interface with a quantum-based intelligence, create defensive systems that could respond to an unknown threat, and simultaneously prepare for potential peaceful contact. Dr. Nakamura began mapping out the initial stages. "We'll need to establish a multidisciplinary team. Quantum physicists, linguists specializing in nonlinear communication, advanced systems engineers, and strategic analysts." Marcus nodded, his cybernetic interface already compiling potential team configurations. The traditional hierarchical military approach would fail here. They needed a fluid, adaptive strategy that could respond to an intelligence capable of fundamental communication beyond human comprehension. "Activate Project Quantum Shield," Reyes ordered. This was a classified initiative developed for precisely such unpredictable scenarios. A comprehensive defensive and communicative framework that could adapt in real time. Across multiple research facilities, specialized teams began mobilizing. In orbital research stations, underground laboratories, and advanced computational centers, humanity's brightest minds started working on deciphering the quantum signal. The challenge was unprecedented. How do you communicate with an intelligence that doesn't just send messages, but fundamentally alters the communication medium with each interaction? Dr. Elena Rodriguez's initial quantum transmission became the foundation of their approach. Her work at Horizon Station had captured something extraordinary, a signal that was more than information, more than a message. It was a living, evolving form of communication. "We're preparing multiple response scenarios," Dr. Nakamura continued. "Defensive protocols, communication attempts, and comprehensive analysis frameworks. We can't predict the nature of this intelligence, so we must be prepared for anything." Marcus watched the quantum patterns shift and pulse across the holographic displays. Each modification suggested a complexity that humanity was only beginning to understand. This wasn't just about potential first contact. It was about expanding the very definition of intelligence and communication. The adaptive response protocol represented humanity's most sophisticated preparation for the unknown. It wasn't just a military strategy, but a testament to human innovation. The ability to face the incomprehensible with curiosity, preparation, and an unwavering determination to understand. As the day progressed, teams around the globe began working on specialized components of the protocol. Quantum communication interfaces were being redesigned, defensive systems were being recalibrated, and entire branches of scientific understanding were being challenged. Commander Reyes knew that whatever was coming, humanity would face it not with fear, but with an adaptive, innovative spirit. The quantum signal was more than a potential threat. It was an invitation to expand the boundaries of human knowledge. Continue full spectrum analysis, he instructed, and prepare for any possibility. The command center continued its precise, controlled chaos, a microcosm of humanity's response to the unknown. They were preparing not just for a potential conflict, but for a moment that could redefine everything they understood about existence, communication, and the vastness of the universe. The Nexus orbital shipyard orbited Earth like a mechanical spider, its massive arms constantly weaving complex technological marvels. At its heart stood Dant Williams, chief engineer of the most ambitious spacecraft project in human history. Massive holographic displays surrounded him, each one showing intricate schematics of the experimental vessel that would change everything. The quantum resonance drive is unlike anything we've ever attempted, Dante muttered to himself, running his augmented hand across a holographic blueprint. The drive wasn't just a propulsion system. It was a living, adaptive technology inspired directly by the quantum signal discovered weeks earlier. Dr. Petra Volkov, the project's lead quantum systems specialist, approached with a data tablet. Initial simulations are showing unprecedented potential, she said, her Russian accent cutting through the technological hum of the shipyard. The adaptive matrix can potentially modify its own quantum state in response to external stimuli. The ship, codenamed Horizon 1, represented humanity's most radical approach to space exploration. Traditional rocket technology seemed primitive compared to this new design. Instead of pushing against space, the quantum resonance drive would essentially negotiate with it, bending quantum principles to achieve faster-than-light travel and adaptive environmental interaction. Dant's team had been working around the clock, fueled by a mixture of scientific curiosity and an almost desperate hope. The quantum signal they were responding to had challenged everything humanity understood about communication and space travel. Power integration at 78%, announced Kira Martinez, the ship's systems coordinator. Her fingers danced across multiple holographic interfaces, each movement precisely calibrating complex quantum circuits. The ship's hull was a marvel of engineering, an adaptive material that could modify its molecular structure in real time. Traditional metals and composites have been replaced by a quantum-responsive substrate that could literally change its properties based on environmental challenges. We're not just building a spacecraft, Dant explained to a group of visiting scientific advisors. We're creating a living system that can communicate with the universe itself. The breakthrough had come from an unexpected combination of disciplines. Quantum physicists working alongside materials engineers, linguists collaborating with computational experts, all driven by the mysterious signal that promised something beyond human comprehension. Suddenly, an alarm burst through the shipyard's communication systems. The quantum resonance drive was experiencing an unexpected quantum fluctuation, not a malfunction, but something more complex. It's responding, Dr. Volkov whispered, her eyes wide with amazement. The drive is communicating. The holographic displays erupted with intricate patterns of light, quantum states shifting in ways that defied traditional scientific understanding. It was as if the technology they had created was learning, adapting, growing beyond its original design. Dant watched in a mixture of terror and exhilaration. They weren't just building a spacecraft, they were midwifing the new form of technological intelligence. The quantum resonance drive wasn't just a machine, it was becoming something more. Full diagnostic, he commanded, his voice steady despite the revolutionary moment unfolding around him. Log every single quantum state modification. The Nexus orbital shipyard became ground zero for humanity's most audacious technological leap. Horizon 1 represented more than a spacecraft. It was a bridge between human innovation and a universe far more complex than anyone had imagined. As quantum patterns danced across the displays, Dad understood they were witnessing the birth of something unprecedented. Humanity was no longer just exploring space. They were learning to communicate with it on a fundamental level. Prepare for preliminary quantum resonance test, he instructed, knowing that whatever happened next would change everything. The universe was about to meet humanity's most radical creation, a ship that was more than a machine, a technology that could think, adapt, and potentially communicate in ways never before conceived. The Harmonia space station hung in the void between known star systems, a neutral ground carefully designed for unprecedented interactions. Ambassador Zara Okoye stood at the central diplomatic chamber, her neural link communication device humming softly against her temple. Years of interstellar diplomatic training had prepared her for complex negotiations, but nothing could have truly prepared her for this moment. Across the crystalline negotiation table sat representatives from the quantum intelligence that had first contacted humanity. They weren't beings in any traditional sense, more like living manifestations of quantum probability, their forms shifting and reforming with each moment of communication. Language is inadequate, the quantum entity communicated, its message rippling through Zara's neural interface as a complex dance of mathematical probabilities and emotional resonances. Your linear communication fails to capture the multidimensional nature of our existence. Zara had spent months preparing for this moment. The diplomatic team had developed specialized quantum translation interfaces, sophisticated systems that could interpret communication beyond traditional linguistic boundaries. The Horizon 1's quantum resonance technologies had been crucial in establishing this initial contact. "We seek understanding," she responded, her neural interface translating her intent into a complex quantum signature that represented more than words. It conveyed emotional context, scientific curiosity, and humanity's profound desire to connect. The quantum entities revealed fragments of their nature. They were not a singular species, but a collective intelligence that existed across multiple quantum states. Their perception of time, space, and existence was fundamentally different from human understanding. They experienced reality as a simultaneous, interconnected web of potential outcomes. Dr. Marcus Reyes, who had accompanied Zara as a strategic advisor, watched the interaction with intense concentration. The quantum translation systems captured only a fraction of the communication. Each moment was a complex negotiation of understanding. "Your species is unique," the quantum entities communicated. "You perceive linearity where we see infinite potential. Your technological evolution follows a path of adaptation we find intriguing." The diplomatic chamber itself was a marvel of technological innovation. Adaptive quantum interfaces lined the walls, capturing and interpreting the nuanced communication. Every surface was designed to facilitate understanding between two fundamentally different forms of intelligence. Zara understood that this wasn't just a diplomatic meeting. It was a first step in humanity's most significant evolutionary moment. The potential to communicate with an intelligence that existed beyond human comprehension. "We invite collaboration," she responded, her neural interface translating her intent into a complex quantum signature that represented scientific curiosity, peaceful intentions, and a profound respect for the unknown. The quantum entity's response was both a warning and an invitation. They spoke of cosmic challenges, of threats that existed beyond human perception, potential existential risks that required collaborative understanding. "Your technological trajectory interests us," they communicated. "The Horizon 1 represents more than a spacecraft. It is a bridge of understanding." Marcus Reyes stepped forward, his tactical neural interface working in concert with the diplomatic translation systems. "We seek mutual understanding," he added, his message a complex mathematical and emotional signature that conveyed humanity's potential for adaptation and growth. The negotiation was unlike any diplomatic interaction in human history. It wasn't about territorial claims or resource allocation. It was a fundamental exchange of understanding. Two forms of intelligence trying to comprehend each other's existence. As the meeting progressed, Zara realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe. They were being invited into a conversation that transcended traditional understanding of communication, intelligence, and existence. The quantum entities began sharing glimpses of cosmic challenges, potential threats that existed in quantum realities humanity had never imagined. It was both a warning and an opportunity for collaboration. Prepare, the entities communicated. Transformation approaches. Zara, Marcus, and the entire diplomatic team understood that this was more than a meeting. It was the beginning of humanity's most significant journey, a step into a universe far more complex and interconnected than they had ever imagined. The crisis came without warning. Quantum rifts began tearing through the fabric of space-time, threatening to unravel the very foundations of galactic stability. What had begun as a groundbreaking communication with the quantum intelligence now revealed its true purpose, a desperate warning about a cosmic threat that defied conventional understanding. Horizon 1, now fully operational, became humanity's primary response vessel. Dante Williams stood on the bridge, his quantum interface synchronizing with the ship's adaptive systems. Beside him, Dr. Elena Rodriguez monitored the quantum communication channels, while Commander Marcus Reyes coordinated strategic responses. "The rifts are expanding exponentially," Elena reported, her voice tight with concentration. Holographic displays showed massive tears in spacetime, each breach threatening to destabilize entire star systems. These aren't just spatial anomalies. They're quantum cascades that could unravel multiple dimensional realities. The quantum entities they had first contacted now worked in concert with humanity, sharing knowledge that pushed the boundaries of scientific understanding. What had seemed like a simple first contact mission had transformed into a fight for cosmic survival. Zara Okoye, who had been instrumental in establishing initial communication, now coordinated a massive interstellar response. Ships from every human colony, retrofitted with quantum adaptive technologies, formed a defensive network unlike anything previously conceived. "Quantum resonance shields at maximum," Dad called out. The Horizon 1's hull shimmered, its molecular structure constantly adapting to the extraordinary stresses of the spatial rifts. This was more than a spacecraft. It was a living system, a testament to human ingenuity and adaptive potential. The threat was beyond traditional warfare. These quantum rifts threatened to unravel the fundamental structure of reality itself. Conventional weapons were useless. Their only hope lay in the collaborative technologies developed through their communication with the quantum intelligence. Initiating quantum stabilization protocol, Marcus commanded. The ship's systems began to resonate at frequencies that directly interacted with the spatial rifts, attempting to seal the dimensional breaches. It was a delicate dance of mathematics, physics, and something that approached pure consciousness. Humanity's most advanced technologies worked in harmony with the quantum entities, each system adapting in real time to the evolving threat. Elena's research proved crucial. The quantum communication techniques they had developed allowed them to understand the rifts not as destructive forces, but as symptoms of a larger cosmic imbalance. Each breach was a message, a complex communication about the fundamental nature of existence. "We're not just defending," Elena realized, her voice cutting through the tension on the bridge. "We're learning. These rifts are trying to tell us something." The Horizon 1 moved through space in ways that defied traditional physics. It wasn't traveling so much as negotiating with spacetime itself, its quantum resonance drive creating a protective bubble that could potentially stabilize the dimensional breaches. Hours turned into days. The fight was as much about understanding as it was about survival. Humanity had transformed from a species confined to a single planet to a cosmic problem-solving entity, working alongside an intelligence that existed beyond traditional comprehension. Quantum stabilization at 73%, Dat reported. The ship's systems were pushing the boundaries of what was possible, each moment a negotiation between human innovation and cosmic complexity. As the final quantum rifts began to close, something extraordinary happened. The quantum entities shared a profound revelation. Humanity's adaptability, its capacity for collaborative innovation, had been a crucial factor in preventing a cosmic catastrophe. "You are not just survivors," the quantum intelligence communicated. "You are transformers of reality." On the bridge of Horizon 1, the team understood they had crossed a threshold. This was more than a victory. It was an invitation to a broader understanding of existence, a cosmic coming of age for humanity. The rifts sealed, space-time stabilized, and humanity stood transformed, no longer just observers of the universe, but active participants in its most fundamental processes. As the ship's systems began to power down, a sense of profound possibility filled the bridge. They had faced the unknown and emerged not just surviving, but fundamentally changed. The real journey, they all understood, was just beginning.